like, you have to, these are all learning experiences where when these experienced people share things, right, we get to learn a lot. So try to grasp things, children. Don't just take it as a session. Take this as a learning, experiences.
Usha ma'am, sir has joined.
Yeah, I think sir has joined, Usha ma'am. Namaste, Colonel sir.
Namaste, Colonel sir. Sir, are you able to hear us, sir?
I think sir.
Namaste. Can you hear me?
Sir, but I mean, it's very low. The voice is very low. We are able to hear you now, but the voice is very low. Yes, sir, we can see you also now.
Okay, now how about the volume now?
Volume is low. Smita ma'am, I think it's low, right? Or is it only for me?
It's low, Usha ma'am. Volume is not audible. Yeah, the voice is not audible.
Okay, how about now?
Better,
yes.
sir. Better.
Yes, sir.
Little better.
Great. What about now?
No, sir, it has gone down further.
I'll just any improvement? One second. I'll connect with my other headphones. Just give me a minute. Yeah, how about now?
Yes, sir, fine. Yeah, we are able to hear you. Sir, namaste and welcome, sir, for the session. So without taking too much time, I request Akia Indani from grade 8 to give the introduction. Yes, Akia.
Thank you.
Namaste to one and all present over here. Learning from experience and learning from education. Both are important. Your education and values decide how you learn from your experiences. As aptly quoted by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we have amongst us Colonel Venkat who will share with us his experiences and impart values learned. It's my honor, sir, to give your illustrious introduction. Colonel Venkat is a retired Army engineer with 25 years of experience as an Army officer in the Corps of Engineer as well as in executive, managerial, supervisory and administrative and staff appointment in the military engineering services. He has done his BTech in civil engineering and an MBA full-time from Anna University, Chennai, and an MPhil in management from TGOU. He has also done MSc in psychology from Madras University and holds a diploma in counseling and physiotherapy psychotherapy from IPMS Mumbai. He was commissioned into the army in June 1982 in the Corps of Engineer after completing 3 years of basic military training as a cadet at the prestigious National Defence Academy, Kadakswala, Pune. and then 1 year of tough focus training as an army cadet at the National Military Academy, Dehradun. He then did his degree in engineering from College of Military Engineering, Pune, from 1984 to 1987. He has served in Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, Assam, Arunachal, and the deserts of Rajasthan. He was awarded with the Army Commander's Commendation Card when serving in Sikkim at a height of 15,000 feet above MSL and building fortification in inclement weather and hostile terrain. After retirement from the army in 2007, he has worked in the industry in DLF Homes, CB Richard Ellis, and Panoramic Groups in various roles, including HR. He has also been a full-time faculty in Dr. V. N. Bedekkar's Institute of Management Studies, Thane, and a visiting faculty at several B schools in and around Mumbai like Velganekar, Lala Rajpat Rai Institute, Sydney M, Sas Mira Valdri, and he had been a mentor and career counselor to the students and had been taking MBA students for outward training, leadership, and team building for several years. It is a great privilege, sir, to have you here today. We are looking forward to learn from your experiences. Now I request Vice Principal Ma'am to address the gathering.
Namaste everyone. Namaste sir. And a very warm welcome to you on behalf of entire RRIS family. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure my students are definitely going to have a highly enriching learning today from you, because learning from your experience, learning from others' experience is really something which is learning for life. So thank you, sir. Thank you for taking out time for us. And we are looking forward for a power-packed learning session today. Thank you so much. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. A lot of expectations.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, now I request you to take over the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And like I said, firstly, at the outset, let me thank the management of RRIS, Ram Ratna International School, and especially Dr. Jaya Parekh for giving me this platform. I have already addressed students for a very short time during the investiture ceremony, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you, Smita ma'am and Usha Shri ma'am for having taken the trouble to introduce me and also to help me out in this presentation, or rather this interaction. Yeah, I hope I am audible to everybody. Hello.
Sir, if you can bring your, if you can come closer to the mic and be little loud, I think so.
Yeah, 1 second.
There will be more clarity. That's what I feel.
How about now?
Sir, now it's better, much better. Good.
Great. Yeah, I just realized that the volume, I had not increased it in this. I'm using another headphone. There's one thing which really, I would say, challenges me, or rather I am challenged in that area, and that is IT. So hardware, software is something that I need getting used to. And nevertheless, we all have to get used to it. There's no other way. So like you said, without wasting much time, I'm very thankful to Usha Shri ma'am also for having already put up the presentation, so that like I know out of 60 minutes, I think I've already consumed 10 minutes, unfortunately, because I had a problem with my laptop. My laptop is doing good now. I'll try and connect from there also, because, but of course, I don't think, I hope you all can see me and hear me. I think that's enough. Yeah, then I don't need to trouble myself again with the laptop.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I am very comfortable now, and if you all are comfortable, then we go ahead. So I can see the presentation also, which has been put up on the screen. So I go straight from there. I am a very, I would say, lucky person in life, as I would put it mildly. I've got much more than I really imagined, or I probably bargained for. My down memory lane, 1977, I completed my standard 12 long ago, and at that time I felt I was on top of the world, 17-year-old, out to conquer the world. Uh-oh. Voice is gone again. How about now? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes.
But some people, I think they're finding it not so audible. So, fair enough. I hope the
Sir,
majority can hear me and I can
sir, it's
continue.
not audible. I mean, like, is it the problem only with me or with everybody?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is not audible.
It is not with
How
you,
about
ma'am.
now? How about now?
No, sir,
No,
no.
no, sir.
Okay, there seems to be some problem there. Any improvement now?
No, sir.
Hello? Hello? Voice is low. Okay, one
Very
second.
low, yeah.
One sec. I'll do something about it. Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Yeah, any improvement now? Hello? Hello? Any improvement?
Yes,
Hear
sir,
me?
very much. Yes.
Chalo, अच्छी बात है. As long as you can hear, I'm happy. So can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Smita ma'am, is it okay?
Sir, to be very frank, it's still not so good.
Better?
No, sir, no.
Sir, it is low, sir, actually. You're audible, but very low.
Okay, I'll try to come on the laptop now. Give me a minute. My laptop seems to be working, so let me try connecting from the laptop. Probably the volume will be better then. Just give me a second. I wish I could do something about this,
Any improvement?
Volume? Hello?
Yeah, sir, it's very much, sir.
No,
I don't know why
Shirish, you wait. No, Shirish, you wait. No, sir, it's not audible.
That's what I'm surprised. Why is it audible to some people and not audible to some people? Because if it's from my side, it should not be audible to anybody.
Actually, you know what happens? It is audible.
Sir,
And
sir, your
it
voice
goes
is
up and
breaking.
down. Suddenly your voice increases
Uh-huh.
and then suddenly it vanishes.
Oh, okay, ऐसा है क्या? So
Huh.
then is it a problem of the browser?
Sir, it might be the problem of your headphone.
नहीं
You
नहीं
may,
शायद
you
browser
can,
होगा. Let me change the browser. Give me a second. I'll change the browser. 1 second. But you know what? Since the video is on perfectly, I don't think it's a problem of the browser. The connectivity is good. Connectivity is very good. Otherwise, we won't be able to see each other. Because
So, sir, what I would suggest is you can continue with the current thing also. Just keep yourself little closer to the mic or the system, whatever you're using, and maybe if you can be little loud. So I think
हाँ
it will solve the problem.
हाँ समझ गया. अभी कैसा है? Better?
हाँ अभी
yes,
better है sir, अभी better है हाँ हाँ.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Okay. So now let me start. So like I said, down memory lane, 1977, I was feeling on top of the world. I was academically inclined. I was a bookworm, in fact, and but then I was not at all an outdoor guy, and feeling on top of the world in the sense that every class I used to, come first all along my academic career. And I came second only once in 7th standard, and that's the time I cried all night. So that is the kind of person I was. And what happened was that uh, because I was overconfident, I took my entrance exams very easy. And there was a big rumor that entrance to engineering would be purely based on the results, the standard 12 result. So I took it easy. But horror of horrors, in the last minute, the rules changed and we were asked to undergo entrance exams. So something like the JEE. And then once that happened, I flunked in the engineering entrance. Now, let me tell you one thing very clearly, that for a person from my community, firstly, hardly anyone is in the army, and secondly, if you are not an engineer, you are not a human being. It's like that. Yeah, so I'm trying to now connect with the laptop. Let's see how it goes.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it better than before?
Sir, the perfect voice.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Because it's on the laptop now. Great. So let me continue without much ado. You see me as well?
No, sir. Your camera is off.
It's coming on. It's coming on. As long as you can hear me, धीरे धीरे आ रहा है. So you'll be able to see me very soon also. So, like I said, I flunked in the engineering entrance, and that was the biggest nightmare of my life. Because, like I said, in my community, if you don't get into engineering, you're not a human being. It's like that. So then I was crestfallen, and anyway, my first love was joining medicine. To be very frank, so I got into BSc microbiology in the first year of Mumbai University, and that was when career, or rather fate or destiny struck. Okay, so what happened was that there was a neighbor, and he was a very, toughy kind of guy. He was always bossy, physically very, fit and tough. And he used to, I hope you can keep the slides back because I haven't come to them as yet. Yeah, so if you can just go back to the slide, I'll tell you when to go ahead, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. That's okay. I'll just start with this story and then I'll go ahead. So like I said, when I was interacting with this neighbor of mine, and he said that, I want to join the NDA. So I asked, what is this NDA? And he laughed and he said, you don't know anything about NDA, National Defense Academy? You don't know what the army is all about? And so he boasted as usual. And then a few days later, he came back, crestfallen, with his head low. And he said, Yaar, so I asked him, Yaar, what happened? So he says, Yaar, I flunked in my NDA entrance. So I said, oh my God, that's very sad. He said, you know what, it's very tough entrance, and then even physical tests are all very tough. So then something, I don't know, that one statement changed my entire life. So I just said very, matter of factly, yeah, his name was Chandrasekhar. So I said, Chandru, I'll also try for NDA. So at the time he laughed, and he laughed loud and, बड़े जोर से ऐसा. So I said, भाई क्या हुआ? He said, तू और NDA. And he said कि अगर तू NDA में जाएगा तो मैं अपनी सर का मुंडन करा दूंगा. So remember, the year was 17. I was 17 years old. Rush of blood, anger, want to prove myself. And I said, come what may, I'll move heaven and earth, but I'll get into NDA. And I did everything I could. I read the book upside down. In fact, many people told me, why are you going into the army? It's tough life. You might lose your life. But nothing stopped me. I said, I've got to get into NDA. I've got to show this guy Chandru who I am. The ego is very strong at that time. And then when I put my full Josh into it, lo and behold, after 2 months, I got selected for the National Defense Academy. Okay. So when that happened, my friend, so-called friend Chandru, did not actually tonsure himself, did not shave off his hair, but after that day, he never spoke to me. So I lost a good friend, inverted commas, but I learned one thing in life, and that's the first lesson I want to share with you people. When you take it upon yourself with determination, when you're resolute to achieve something, you will achieve it. There's nothing that is impossible. Okay, I think now my video is also there.
All good, sir. All good.
All good. All good. So that was the story I started. It's a real life story. This is something that in my childhood I was in their house. They used to party in the night. Somewhere. I like the uniform. And that's the reason for me to join. In spite of a lot of opposition from my family. But then I later on relented my determination. So the moral of the story is, if you're determined, you can achieve anything. So okay, let's start now with the presentation so that I go with the flow. Hello.
So your voice is cracking badly.
Is it better now?
No, sir. I think sir has lost the connection.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir,
Great,
yes.
Yes,
great.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So, according to this, we are passing through challenging times, and in the army, they say that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. The very something that happens every day to us. And it is in the time of crisis that true leaders emerge. So it's time for all of you to accept the challenge and go forward in your career. So my advice to the youth of today is face the challenges. You've got very tough challenges ahead because most of you have been at home for the last 2 years almost. most of you are getting, I mean, have to live a virtual life almost, have to depend on technology, and it's really, really tough. And there's tremendous competition. So there are a lot of challenges ahead, and it is when challenges are there that true leaders emerge. So get ready to, you know, for exciting times. Next slide. Yeah. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is a few critical lessons from what I've learned and 25 years that I have been in the armed forces. I told you my first story of how I joined, and the joining process is very complicated. I can spend lots of time in that. Unfortunately, I don't have much time today, so I will skip those details. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So what I'll try to share is what training in the academy taught me, what life in the units taught me, and then how did I complete my MBA after retirement or during my study leave, sorry, and then when I shifted to civis, and then finally my academic journey of last 15 years. So there have been many phases in my life which I want to share with you quickly. Yeah. So training has taught me many things, many things. It's made the kind of person that I am today. So training has been very tough, and what all goes on again in the army training is something that I cannot really share everything. Suffice to say that we have a day which is never a dull moment, every moment of the day. So we have PT, we have drill, we have games, we have uh, classes, we have walking outs, we have, I would say, um, what is that called? Rest periods, we have clubs, we have swimming, we have horse riding, we have cross country, we have parades, we have practice, and so many other things. Of course, we have some lectures to attend, not lectures, some addresses from by people like, you know, like you're listening to me now. So we have listened to so many people in the seminar hall in the evenings, and maybe we have gained a lot of knowledge there too. So life in the academy was one blur of non-stop activity. That's another. I would be not be able to again share everything with you, but let me share quickly whatever I can. So the first thing is discipline. So where did we learn discipline? On the drill square, while doing drill, listening to commands, obedience to command. So they say that obedience gives the right to command. Obviously, and their seniority is very important. Even one day senior is, you have to call that person sir. Okay, so that is the importance given to seniority. That is the importance given to drill. So drill being the bedrock of discipline, it was drilled into us in and out that you've got to be obedient, you've got to be disciplined, you've got to do things in a structured manner in life. We became very structured. Everything was done according to a plan. There was nothing. I won't say there was no scope for creativity, but yes, we knew how to do everything in the best possible manner. And that helps a lot. If you practice things and make it perfect, you get used to doing things in a certain process, then you can do it blindly. Simple example I'll tell you. Every Sunday in the units was rifle cleaning. We had to clean the rifle for 2 hours from 10 to 12 every single Sunday, no matter what happened. Okay, so weapon cleaning parade was there on Sundays, and so we got so used to cleaning our weapons that let me tell you that even blindfolded, we can put the rifle back. We can strip the rifle and put it back blindfolded because you've done it so many times. Okay, so that's the beauty of discipline. That's what you gain through discipline. Then learning to respect time. Time, remember, is something that will never come back, which is 1,000 times more precious than money. You can get money back. You can even get health back, but you can't get time back. Please remember that. And therefore, you must respect time. And more than respecting your own time, you need to respect others' time. And that's what really made me feel bad today. Really made me feel guilty today when I texted ma'am that I was getting stuck with my computer Actually, I started connecting at 1:05, but unfortunately, it just wouldn't connect. That's another story, of course. But then I managed to text her. So the point is, we can't keep people waiting even for a minute. It's not fair. And I don't want to certainly present a wrong example. Yes, I did get stuck a couple of times because of my computer, but then I bounced back again, as you can see. And that's why I keep three of these, headphones with me. If not one, then second. If not second, then third. That's how it is. You've got to respect people and their time. Then, in the army again, a couple of stories about respecting time. We had PT parades, drill square. So everywhere, wherever we had to go, we had to be there 5 minutes before. Okay, 5 minutes before we had to be standing there. So if PT started at 6, then we actually were there at 5:45 in the morning because our muster or our roll used to be taken. And I'm sure being school students, you know the meaning of roll call. So our roll call was taken at uh, 5:50. So we had to be there at 5:45 every morning, dressed and ready. Then the third lesson is being turned out. Turned out means your dress. So while we definitely don't need to be dressed up in a suit every time, but you've got to be careful that you are dressed appropriately. And whatever dress you wear, it should be smart. You should look smart. In the army, we've learned the importance of looking smart. Dress up, show up every time, no matter how you feel. That's what we've been taught. You may be down in the dumps, but you've got to smile and carry forward. And remember, the smile is the best dress that you can wear. So always stand up with a smile. Okay. And the importance of turnout is that it gives you confidence, and it also makes you look better, in the sense that people have confidence in you, not just you having confidence in yourself. It makes a big difference, believe me. And remember, first impression is lasting impression. And that is why the importance. We don't want to look like rock stars. No way. But we want to look definitely smart and appropriately dressed at all times.
Sir,
Okay. Yes,
can I add one thing here?
please.
So actually what I want to convey is that it's not about wearing costly accessories and expensive clothes and all. So looking smart doesn't mean that you wear expensive clothes. It's whatever you wear has to be neat and tidy and well placed.
Absolutely.
Like even if it's a simple t-shirt, it has to be well ironed.
Correct.
So that is what is actually looking well groomed and smart and good. And that really what sir said is right. That gives you a lot of confidence, and first impression is the last impression. If you are well groomed, people will come and talk to you. Not only that you're wearing expensive clothes will attract the people. No, it's about how well groomed you are, how you carry yourself. That's important.
Absolutely. So very rightly said, ma'am. Now you can see my shirt. It's not really an expensive shirt, but certainly it's well pressed. You can make that out even now. And I never forget to comb my hair. Never, ever. Although, of course, I don't have much now left to comb, but still, whatever is there, I make sure that it's not ruffled at least. So it makes a big difference. Okay. And we were all this was hammered into us during training, believe me. Okay. We didn't realize the importance then, but we certainly realize it now. Okay. Another lesson: small things make a big difference. Now, this is a great lesson that we learn. I'll tell you what. It may not have anything to do with turnout, but it showed us that perfection has to be something that you must always look forward to. You see, when we were wearing our drill dress, the khakis, there's something called a formation sign. You must be aware, which is worn on the left hand arm. Okay, and it has 5 stitch buttons. Okay, so those stitch buttons have to be pressed into the press buttons on your shirt. And even if one is not, properly aligned, then the formation sign becomes teda, twisted, out of shape. It's not straight. And believe me, During the drill square, people have failed. There's something called a drill square test that we have to pass. And 50% is on your turnout and 50% is on your drill movements. So when our ustad, when the our instructor used to come and check our turnout, he if that formation sign was tilted even 1 degree to the right or to the left, he would just pull it out and throw it. And in that process, people's shirts have also torn. Believe me, that's the importance they give to the details. You can't have a formation sign that is twisted on your shirt. No way. Okay? That is the importance they give to perfection. And like I think one of the great sculptors has also said, I'm forgetting his name, that trifles make perfection, and perfection is no trifle. So it's the small things that make a big difference ultimately. Every little thing counts. So don't forget to count your pennies. Okay? The pounds will take care of themselves. Remember that. Then another very important lesson that we learned in the armed forces: whatever makes you afraid, do it first. I know it sounds so simple, but it's not so simple. Guys, how many of you have done a bungee jump? If you're scared, go and do it. I know Smita ma'am must be thinking,
I want to say something. I was underage.
yeah, I know. Smita ma'am must be thinking, kya maine khol diya abhi. Okay, but still,
I want
what?
to say something. May I?
Okay, please listen. The point I'm trying to make is that even when we were in the services, when we were in training, there were many things that we were scared of. But in the academy, what was taught was, जिस चीज से आपको डर लगता है उसको पहले करो. And that's the only way you will overcome the fear. Believe me, I had the fear of horse riding. I used to get really scared of sitting on the horse because it's all about balance. And our horse riding test was even without a saddle. Can you imagine? Saddle is the thing that you use to sit on. Remember that. And we don't even have a saddle. We have to grip the sides of the horse with our legs and balance ourselves. Yes, dar ke aage jeet hai. Absolutely. So the point is, horse riding was terrible. It's very easy when you have a saddle, but try riding a horse without a saddle. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. And I have fallen from the horse, by the way, not once, but many times. Thankfully, I haven't broken any bones. In fact, once the horse also put its foot on me and ran. So that's how life in training is. But then each time we had to get up and do it again. Get up and do it again. Get up and do it again. That's the only way. There was no other way because I had to pass the test. Similarly, there was something called the 10-meter board in swimming. Now 30 feet. Yes, not to give up. Absolutely right, ma'am. There's a 10-meter board. Let me tell you that this again is a test in swimming. And you'll be surprised. There are many cadets who were very scared of jumping from that, who later on became fighter pilots. Okay? Can you imagine? They flew fighter planes at 2.5 Mach, 2.5 times the speed of sound. But they could not jump from that 10-meter board. That was the fun. And what was the answer to that? The ustad merely used to come on the board and tell cadet jump. And the cadet didn't jump, he would just push the cadet out. And that would continue until the cadet jumped himself. Okay? So keep doing it, keep doing it. There is no mercy. Absolutely no mercy. They're not creating pussyfooters there. They're creating soldiers there. So that's the only way you learn, the hard way. And then the last one, like what Smita ma'am said, take a break, never give up. So take a break is a beautiful lesson we learned when we had to, when we were on a camp in our second term in the Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. That was tough military training, army training. And everybody knows Mussoorie. It's a beautiful place. It's a hill station. But we will always remember Mussoorie with a lot of dread because there was a hill which was very close to Mussoorie, almost the same height, which was called Badraj. I'll never forget that hill because at 2 p.m. we were, in packs, big packs, boots, and everything, dressed like soldiers with our rifles. And we were told, okay, you got to climb this mountain. And once you reach there, you'll get dinner. So the only way to get dinner is to reach on the top. And mind you, it was the month of November. It was raining. The ground was slippery, slushy. Imagine climbing Virgin Mountain without any track when the ground is slippery. And that too with 30 kilos on your back. Not easy, mind you. We stopped. We kept trying. We took 4 steps up, came down 3 steps. Took 4 steps up, came down 3 steps. And we reached the next morning at 2 a.m. We had our dinner. It became almost breakfast by the time we had it. And that's how we learned. Never give up. Because there's no going back in the armed forces. Please remember that. Okay? So then, what's the next? Next slide, please. And somebody please warn me when time is also close. If you don't mind. Of course, I can see it's now 1:54. Smita ma'am, I have time till what time?
Sir, ideally we finish by 2:05, 2:10. Yes. But I think.
Can I complete it by 2:15 if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. 2:15 we can wrap it up.
Thank you. Okay. Now what life in the unit? So that was what training in the academy taught me. Now I'll go back to the unit. I was very lucky again. I joined the Madras Sappers. I was in an engineer regiment by virtue of my good academic career. And later on, I went to do my engineering degree at the College of Military Engineering. And I also did my master's. I became an MTech and I did design in the army. But that is later. So my first brush for the was with the Madras Sappers. I've always been a Madras Sapper. And in fact, today is the 1st of October, which is which is our raising day. So I'm very proud. Today is our regiment raising day. Our regiment is 14 Engineer Regiment. And in Tamil, it's called Padinale. So our slogan is Padinale Pomunale, which means 14 march ahead. So I have South Indian troops with me. They're called Thambis. They're very tough, extremely tough guys. So some lessons. Importance of izzat and dignity at all times. Yes, this is the first lesson we learned in the unit. If you go to any military unit, the first thing you'll come is the officer's mess. And in the officer's mess, it's a landmark. In the officer's mess, at the entrance itself, you have something called the trophy room. And all the trophies, the silver that the unit has and what the unit battalion has won in various competitions, they're all displayed there. They're all silver cups, golden cups. And that is, we also have a battle honor chart. That means what all awards our men have won in war and in peace. So that is our, nishane shan, as they say. So that is our glory list or honor list. Because in the army, it's all about glory. It's all about honor. We are fighting for our izzat. Remember that. If at all we go to battle, it's for our honor. It's for our glory. It's for our izzat. And that is what we fight for. Obviously, it is for the nation. But more importantly, it is our izzat of being a soldier. So it's all about our self-esteem, our dignity at all times. And that's what is taught to us. Never do anything in life that makes you look small. Never do anything that makes you shameful. That's what has been taught to us. Okay. The second lesson that I learned in the unit is camaraderie. Now, camaraderie simply means bonding, friendship. When I was a platoon commander as a lieutenant, I had 40 men under me. I had a diary with me. I was supposed to keep a diary. And in that diary, I had to write down every Thambi's name, 1 page for each soldier. And in that page, I had to write who he was, which state, which place he belonged to, what was the size of his family, what were his children doing, which all units he was in earlier, how long has he been in the unit, what all has he done for the unit, everything, uska pura janam kundali we had to write. Okay, and we had to know everything about our Tambis, and we had to keep mug it up literally. So that enabled us to become so strongly bonded with our Tambis that we could, you know, uh, in very tough times we could work together. For example, I'll tell you, I was in Sikkim at a height of 15,000 feet in the mountains, all alone with my platoon. There was nobody for miles, miles and miles. I had one vehicle. I used to go every weekend to the to Gangtok to get supplies. Okay, the capital of Sikkim, 40 kilometers away, and I had to bring back ration. I had to bring back letters. I had to bring back supplies. So the moment I used to come back, they used to literally look at me as if I was God, because only I could give them chutti and let them go out of this place. And that is where at the height of 15,000 we were making bunkers. So that is where we really came so close to each other, because we knew that we are all in this together and there's nobody here except each of us to help each other. So that is camaraderie. Third lesson is about sweating in peace. So more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. Many people have asked me a question, कि सर फौज करता क्या है peace में? So I tell them, boss, every day is like war, for preparation for war for us. We train, train, train. And that's why army men make some of the best trainers in the world. Because all their life they've been training. They're either being trained or they're training. And this training is almost real life, okay? Except for the bullets, everything is just like war. And we believe in training and spending, I mean, putting a lot of sweating it out in our training, not just during exercises, games, everything. Whatever we do, we sweat it out. Because we know the more we practice, the more perfect we become. And in war, it'll help us. Then we bleed less. We make less mistakes in war. So then another lesson in the unit was leave the comfort zone. I'll tell you a story. I joined my unit in August after commissioning, and first day was beautiful. I still remember it. I was welcomed. I was taken to the mandir. I was blessed by the pujari. Then in the evening, there was a beautiful party. And hello, can you hear me?
क्यों?
Hello. I think somebody's put on the mic. Can you please unmute?
क्या machine में wired?
Can you please unmute, please? Hello. Yeah, I think now it's okay. Thank you. So as I was saying, the first night I was dined in, and I mean, there was a lovely dinner. Me and one more officer joined together, Colonel Puri, that time Lieutenant Puri. So both of us joined together and we were treated like VIPs. So I said, wow, life in the unit is great. Next morning we woke up, we were sent to our companies, and then we were taken to the obstacle course. We said, yaar, ye kahan aa gaye hum? Obstacle course, let me tell you, is a training ground. You might have seen these obstacles, low wire entanglement, then the Z, bench, then the ropes, then the ditch, then the wall. These are all obstacles that we are trained on. And these are quite tough individually also. So then we were told that we are going to have an obstacle competition, inter-unit. And we both were the officers who would be leading the men into it. And the next 15 days was pure ragda, ragda, ragda. Subah se sham tak ragda on the obstacle course. We had to run for 5 kilometers with rifles again and do all 21 obstacles were there. And by the time we finished the obstacles, we were half dead. But remember, it was not just completing the obstacle course. It was practicing to win. In the army, you don't do anything just to complete it. You always do it to win. There is no such thing as losing or coming second in the army. Because if you come second, you are dead. Your enemy comes first and you are dead. So you have to come first always and every time. Remember that. So the obstacle course competition was like a, you know, absolute hell, I would say. But believe me, because of our practice, because of our leaving the comfort zone, we came, we stood first in the competition. And we still remember the day we held that trophy and put it in our mess. We were so proud. And then the unit accepted us. Yes, you deserve to be in our unit. Develop creative solutions. In the army, it's always creativity. You might think, यार army में हमेशा rule होता है. तो फिर creativity कहाँ से आता है? Creativity आता है because as an officer, we have to always think out of the box. Remember, I was in Sikkim. I was on top of the mountains. Nobody to tell me what to do. I had to get the work done out of my team. And there in the mountains in Sikkim, you must understand that by 11 o'clock, there is such a dense fog that you can't work. So we had to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and work from 6 to 11. Only 5 hours. And in those 5 hours, how to motivate the men to work, I had to think about it, how to motivate the men. So I developed creative solutions. And then how to keep them, motivated throughout the day after that. I had to develop creative solutions. So that was again another challenge for me. Another lesson we learned in the army: listen, listen, listen. Okay. In fact, I still remember what my commanding officer told me when I was a lieutenant, that Venkat, just remember one thing: in the first 6 months when you enter the army, keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut. And that was a lesson which always helped me, because you must learn, learn, learn like a sponge. You must never think of exhibiting your knowledge when you're too young or when you're new to any situation. The last and the most important lesson: cultivate trust. Because trust, again, is the basis for any relationship, especially in the armed forces. Remember, as an officer, you have to gain the trust of your men, because you have to lead them to war, to maybe certain death also, or injury. So you have to gain their trust. And how do you gain their trust? By setting an example, by walking the talk, by doing what you preach, or practicing what you preach. That is the best way to cultivate trust. And it really, really paid great dividends, believe me. Next slide, please. Yeah. Industry. So I had a short stint in the industry after I left the armed forces. I was in the industry for about 6 years. I worked in companies like CB Richard Ellis, DLF, and Panoramic Group. That was a hospitality company. So all along, in fact, firstly, it was a culture shock for me, because I was used to a very different kind of life, where I told my junior something and it was done. Whereas in the industry, when you tell somebody, then you have to keep checking back whether he's done it or not, he or she. And secondly, there's a big gap between what you see and what really happens in the industry. It's not what it looks like. So the first lesson was, do not come into the industry with a baggage. Yeah, that's what most army people do. They think, yaar, sala main to saab ban gaya. I'm a colonel saab. You better polish my shoes. No, sir. Nobody's going to polish your shoes for you. You can leave your uniform and your rank behind. They will respect you for who you are. Just Venkat Raman and not Colonel Venkat. Please remember that. Because here you have a different role to play, and you've got to learn to play that role. You got to shed your uniform. And that's the lesson we learned with a lot of difficulty. Life is different. So the sooner you adjust, the better it is for you. Yes, learned that very quickly too. And when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Yes. When in CBRE, do as the management thinks. When in DLF, do as their management thinks. So each time you go to a new company, you got to imbibe their culture. You got to imbibe their values. You got to do what they think is important. You can't do what you think is important. You don't need to become their slave, but you certainly have to imbibe their culture, their way of doing things. Then Yes, keep your mind open, be flexible. Flexibility, thy name is the industry. You can't afford to be rigid. You can't afford to be a stickler for the rules, because there's always something on the ground which is not by the book. In the industry, it's all about jugaad. I'm sure you know the meaning of jugaad. You got to manage it, the situation. And then the last lesson, you'll be judged by what you do and what you are, not what you were. So, what you bring to the table at that moment is what you will be judged for. Next slide, please. As a teacher, yes, I've spent 16 years as a teacher, and I'm so happy. It's there in my genes. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I've been very happy being teaching management in B schools for the last 16 years. So the first lesson I learned is be humble, be simple, be modest, and it always pays in the long run. You be arrogant, you're out. I learned it the hard way. Believe me. I thought I was cat's whiskers, but they asked me to leave, and I had to leave because maybe I was getting too arrogant, and that's where I learned my lesson. You may be a good teacher, but you need to look beyond teaching. Yes, I thought that I'm here to teach, but there are many other things in the college or even in the school, many administrative duties that you need to fulfill. And I learned that you got to be useful to the management or to the institution, not just as a teacher, but beyond that. Because especially for a retired army officer, they look at you for leadership. They look at you for so many other things. Then always we try to help the young teachers in adjusting to their new careers. Yes, that's something, again, it helps a lot. Then they learn to give you respect when you help them. And then it's good to get connected to your students, but maintain decorum and distance. Again, something which I learned, that students are very enthusiastic. Certainly, they respect you a lot, they trust you a lot, but you should know where to draw the line as a teacher. And certainly, that is very important. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the haircut. I think I have just 5 minutes. So I'll talk about the haircut quickly. The haircut is something that, was the first culture shock. I still remember the first day we went to the NDA, National Defense Academy. And when we entered the academy and we, signed in and we kept our luggage, the first place we were directed to was the barber's shop. And everyone had come with lots of hair. Everyone was a hero. Thick, curly hair, straight hair. And then the moment we were finished with, we were done with, we were left with approximately 3 mm of hair on our heads. 3 mm. Okay. And some guys actually cried after taking the haircut because it was a big, blow to their egos. But then we learned that we are all equal here. The haircut is a very humbling experience. You realize then that you are not so great after all. You are just one more trainee. That's it. So it firstly equalizes you, and it makes you certainly modest. And later on in life, we learn to take a haircut. Even today, I take a haircut once a month. Believe me, the moment my hair starts touching my ears, I go and take a haircut. I'm so used to it. In fact, if I don't take a haircut, I feel uncomfortable. That's how, and really makes us look smarter. I'm sure about it. Rigorous daily schedule. At the NDA, I've already told you. Rules and punishment at the NDA. Turnout, I've told you. Cabin cupboard, I'll quickly go over it. 3 minutes to go. Cabin cupboard is very simple. Whatever is in your room, the cabin, has to be laid out perfectly and in order. An example, your banyan, your vest, has to be folded 6 inches by 2 inches, 6 inches long, 2 inches wide, with a cardboard, and kept at 2 inches left of the second shelf. 2 inches left of the second shelf. इतना डिटेल है. So every item like this, your shoes are kept at a particular position. You can't keep it anywhere else. So we get so used to keeping things in the right way that we really become, tidy. And this cabin cupboard inspection is done very, very regularly. The daily schedule I already told you. I think we may take one more slide quickly. Yeah, cross country is a competition of endurance. We run for 12 kilometers in the National Defense Academy. Thankfully, we run in only our PT shoes. But again, it's a very, very humbling experience. It's a tough job running. And I'll end this with just one funny story. And that is that one day before our cross country competition, our squadron commander came and addressed us. And he said, guys, I'll tell you the best way to win. Just two rules. First rule is don't allow anybody to overtake you. And second rule is overtake the person in front of you. We all laughed. But then we realized, wow, this is a great way to win. And when people actually tried doing it, it worked. And we really did better. The simple two rule formula. So what I'm trying to say is that some things can sound very simple, but are very tough when you really practice them. But you shouldn't give up. Boxing, the 10-meter board, camps, everything strengthened us. I can tell all these stories and much, much more some other day. But since the time is 2:15, I think I'll have to stop here. Otherwise, I can go on and on. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me 5 more minutes. I think I'll end it here. And I'll just close it with one last, I would say, word to everyone. It's your life, and you are the master on how you decide to make it. So you are responsible for your life. Don't depend on anybody else for deciding what you want to do in life. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I mean, it was wonderful. If it was not the limit, like time limitation, we would have loved to just go on hearing to your, I won't say stories, your experiences. They were really wonderful. Yes, Smita ma'am, would you like to say anything?
You are very right, Usha ma'am. I completely agree. If time wouldn't have been the constraint today, we would have really loved to listen to you for a longer time, because your experiences are really, they are true learnings of life, actually. What you read from book and whatever stories, but when you learn from real life experiences, that is the best learning. And you have very aptly, in a very proper way, in a very short but detailed manner, you have covered all the experiences which are very, very important to lead a good life, a successful life. And the best thing I would like to say, the best thing which I like the most is the learning which you had written, that bleed, sweat in the peace.
Yeah,
So
the
you will
more you
bleed
sweat in
less
peace, the less you
peace
bleed in war.
in the war, right? So that's actually, that was the best learning, I would say, for myself. So thank you
Thank you.
so much, sir. Wonderful. It was really wonderful listening to you. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Smita ma'am. Now I would like Akia to give the vote of thanks, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes,
Akia?
yes, ma'am. What? I would sincerely like to thank Venkat sir for taking out time for us and inspiring and motivating us through his journey and experiences. It was indeed a great learning today. I would like to thank our principal ma'am and vice principal ma'am for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Further, I would like to thank our secondary coordinator Usha ma'am for her support and IT team for the technical assistance. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all my teachers and my friends for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, everyone. Have a fruitful day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. Take care, sir.
Good day. Bye.
Good day, sir. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Okay, students, teachers, thank you very much.